Dean Elgar held his press conference earlier today where he gave some insight into the last match against the West Indies, where South Africa won by an innings and 63 runs. He also gave some insight into what he's going to be doing for the next test, second test, the last test, the final test, the one to wrap up the series and to decide the series. And he spoke about some excellent points. He gave some excellent insights. He spoke about Temba Bavuma. He spoke about what would happen with regards to Temba and what would happen if he is fit or if he is not fit. He also spoke about South Africa's approach. He spoke about his captaincy. So many points he actually dealt with in this 15-minute press conference that he held today. We have the full press conference on the channel, but we're going to be giving you a little bit of a discussion on this particular video about Dean Elgar's press conference ahead of the second test between South Africa and the West Indies. Now that I've got your attention, please hit subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos, and let's get into this discussion. I'll be talking about everything about Dean Elgar and everything with regards to his press conference in this video next. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. We are of course going to be talking about Dean Elgar's press conference. So I'm going to have to obviously bring my buddy on to talk to me about it. He's the guy that always goes to all the press conferences. Welcome to the show, Aditya. Great to see you once again. We're going to talk about Dean Elgar's press conference. Now, I can see already the first question in the comments is going to be, is Temba Bavuma playing? Now, they are having a press conference. They're having a training session currently, and obviously to completion, and then they're going to decide with what if they're going to release that information tonight or whether they're going to release it before the toss. They're going to decide what they're going to be doing with regards to that. Currently, we do not know whether he's 100% fit or not. Dean Elgar spoke about it being a practice session that was not necessarily for anybody to attend. It was optional. So they weren't necessarily sure whether Temba is fully fit or not for this test. So it's a touch and go currently. If he's not fit, then obviously we know what's going to be happening. Calvin will most likely still play. But they are unsure currently, and we're still waiting for that news. Luckily, we have two shows today. We got the preview show later on where we will be talking about way in depth about the second test. So hopefully we'll get the news by then on whether Temba is fit or whether he's not fit. But let's talk about some of the major points in this particular press conference. And Aditya, I've got you here with me now. Let's go into it. The main point for me was about Dean Elgar talking about ruthlessness, talking about how he wants to be clinical and ruthless and how he thought that South Africa were clinical and ruthless in the first test. Your thoughts on that particular comments? Because I think that is something maybe that takes South Africa to their olden days, and it was something that was spoken about in the press conference about taking South Africa back to the days of old.
Yes, Dean's comment was consistent with his personality and how he likes to play cricket, and how he thinks about the game. Personally, when that question was asked, he commented essentially with respect to the composition of a team. Where he said 3 bowlers, a spinner, and an all-rounder, and the rest of the team is batters. So that to him was like an ideal South African composition. But obviously, the challenge for him is always going to be execution against different oppositions and performing. So he does want to bring that element to the game after it has been missing for quite a while. And so far in the first test match, I think we've seen how exactly that's going to be implemented. Now it's just a matter of how they continue to do it in the second test and then thereafter in subsequent test series. But it's good to see. It's good to see that aggressive approach. Definitely.
Something that we need to see, I've been talking about it for a while, that South Africa needs to get a little bit more ruthless in the way they approach Test cricket. Now, the question was asked, and one of our guests later on can also speak about it because he actually asked the question about it as well. So, talking about whether South Africa, the difference, obviously, of course, between playing slowly and then also being ruthless at the same time. Now, Test cricket, we spoke about strike rates and all of that in the previous episode of the Daily Show. Being ruthless doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be play quick innings, etc. So it's all about obviously playing traditional Test cricket, obviously pushing for those type of things. But you need to be able to have these type of players in your setup to be able to continue that revolution. Because what happens now if Dean Elgar leaves and we have a new captain and his mindset is maybe not the same? We want to maintain that mindset. So if Aiden's going to be the next captain, at least he's learning from Dean and he's going to put that type of mentality into the next breed of players. Also, selecting players that have that mentality is also very important. And I saw a piece earlier on, and it was brought to my attention by a player that sent me a message to ask me about it. And it's about the Western Province region and the club cricket and eliminating the 2-day cricket within the system. And that's a big problem for me if that is true, because I need to do more research on whether that is going to be true or not, because that's a problem in South African cricket, is that our youngsters don't play enough of the longer format. So but the jump from coming out of school where they only play 50 over cricket and they only play a little bit of time cricket and they play T20 cricket, the jump from there to franchise cricket is just ridiculous, and there's nothing anymore for them to learn. So before there was semi-pro with 3-day cricket and then learn over there to play a little bit of the long game. It was a nice transition into 4-day cricket. Now that is gone. We just have 4-day cricket in that region, and I think we're going to be having a Colts Academy or a Colts system. I don't know what type of formats they're going to be playing. Obviously, definitely 50 over and definitely T20, but I'm not sure if they're going to be playing the longer format. So that's something we also need to talk about and see, because if South Africa don't start producing these players and getting them used to the longer format early enough, it's going to be a problem. Look at India. India has a lot of players that are 16, 17, 18 in their systems, already playing the 4-day game. They're already playing the longer format. We have the same thing in the county system. Majority of the players are playing because there's so many counties. You'll get a lot of youngsters getting used to and getting exposed to the longer format. So we need to get that ruthlessness in right through the grassroots level to the bottom. I think there should be a schools league maybe where they can play maybe a 4-day competition. That would be excellent, or a 3-day competition maybe. There used to be a Colts under 23 type of 3-day competition before. Back when Khalid was still playing, I think they were the last bunch of players to actually play that 3-day competition. It doesn't exist anymore in South African cricket, and it's a problem. What else stood out to you, Aditya, with regards to Dean's press conference? Because something that I liked a lot was the fact that he spoke about the wicket. He said he always wants to be the one that bats first, he said, right? So looking at the wicket, they said it's going to be very similar to the first wicket. They don't really see much of a change. So we're going to see that Duke ball move around again.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? It's quite evident that pitch assists seamers a lot more than it does batters. And personally, I felt like bowling first on that wicket worked in South Africa's favor. But sometimes teams also need to challenge themselves, and if batting first does that, batting when conditions are the hardest, we wonder what that might do for the South African team, because if, assuming South Africa win the toss and bat first, or South Africa lose the toss and are put into bat first, and they end up scoring 400 on that track, I think that would still be good for the team. So yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting conversation between Dean Elgar and the coaching staff. But he did say that the wicket looks fairly similar, and it has been raining around St. Lucia quite a bit. So the wicket appears to be a bit softer at the moment. But then we also know that the weather changes quite dramatically and quite quickly. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes for sure.
So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens over there as well. So now, guys, I want to let you guys know that this is just our daily show. So this is just a 15-minute daily show that we're going to be bringing to you every single day. We have a full panel on tonight on our preview show for the game. So we're going to be talking in depth about this game, give you our teams, who we'd like to see start, who we would not like to see start, who should be dropped, who should not be dropped. We're talking about the West Indies side because we've got obviously a West Indies fan that's going to be on the show as well. So that's very important that we speak to. We're trying to get Marshall on the show as well. But unfortunately, he's running into meetings and he might not be able to join. He said he'll try his best to come on the show, guys. But forgive us if he doesn't make it. It's very tricky to find a time when guys are working on full time as well. But we will talk about the entire test team. We'll talk about the test squad. We've got a nice guest on the show. You guys might know him from Twitter. He's a very well-known journalist in South Africa. His name is Tianus van Staden. He's a very good journalist. He has very good insight with the South African team. Has done excellent interviews with players as well. So please welcome him on the channel with a big hello. When we do our preview later on, it will be at 8 p.m. after this particular stream. We've got about 45 minutes. I can maybe watch some of the Denmark game before we go live with that one. But we will be talking about all of that in depth. Now, from you guys, I saw a little message from Bevan over here saying that Khalid messaged Kyle there for us. If you guys want to send out a message holistically from Cricket Fanatics magazine, write it in the comment section. I'll take a screen grab of your guys' messages for him and I'll try my best to send it to him if I can. I don't want to be disturbing him before a major test like that, but maybe I'll send him some of the messages. Let's see how good the messages are. If they're good enough, then maybe I'll take a quick screen grab and I'll send it through to Kyle to give it to you guys. So after this video is done, write it down in the comment section. Let me have a look at it and I'll sift through it. And if they're good enough and they're nice enough and they're positive, then I will send it through to Kyle Verena. So guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Join us for our full preview show. That is at 8 o'clock tonight. It will be at 8 p.m. straight after this particular video. So join us there later. Bevan, Bad Panda asking us when it is. You'll see the stream on this channel as well. It will be at 8 p.m. South African Standard Time. So that's in about 45 minutes, guys. So tune in for that. It's going to be an epic show. I'm really looking forward to it. Good banter, good discussion, and everything. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Thanks a lot, Aditya, for coming on the show. We'll see you guys a little bit later. Not so long, guys, so stay tuned. This is what we're going to be doing from now onwards. So you guys will get a little update on maybe something that is newsworthy. And then we will bring you, on game days, we will bring you excellent previews so that you guys can get an in-depth discussion. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you again later on with our preview show. Take care, everyone.